Hi kawan, welcome to EDCReady. Today we are doing something that, well, I've been meaning to do for a long time but just haven't, which is I bought new Omega springs to reinstall into my Benchmade Bugout because after about 6 months of use, both springs broke. So yeah, bad quality control, not really quality control, but yeah, just bad, like I don't even know, like I've never had locks break on me before. This is my first time. So now I am going to take this guy apart and then install those new Omega springs to get this knife functioning again. Just so you know, my Gonzo G-locks, which is like technologically like the same as a Benchmade access lock, they just can't call it an access lock because of patent reasons. Like those work fine and those have never broken on me. So yeah, pretty disappointing that these did break up on me, especially since this is like 7 times the price of the Gonzo access locks than the Gonzo G-locks. Alright, so this is not going to be an easy take apart because access locks are actually not very easy knives to take apart. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's a Gonzo or a Benchmade. In fact, the only knife that I've seen that uses this kind of sliding bar lock that's easy to take apart is the SOG Terminus XR, and that's because you can kind of take off the scales without needing to take out the these screws right here. Okay, so also I want to let you know that I did contact Benchmade to try to send me some access lock, some Omega springs. However, what ended up happening was they took about a few weeks to reply me, okay, my email, and even after that they said they would send some over. However, after months and months of waiting, they just didn't send one over. So that was a bit disappointing. I always hear a lot about Gonzo's, about Benchmade's wonderful customer service, but that just didn't happen right now. Okay, do I need to take out the pivot? Yes. Yeah, I need to take out the pivot. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so everything's taken apart. The washers are still inside, and let's just take one. Now I bought this guy off of Shopee, which is a e-commerce site that's very popular around Asia. Okay, I know that you have options online like on Etsy or whatever, but I just want to check out these cheaper routes to see if they work fine or not. So this guy wraps around here, it's like so. Now if these break up on me, then I'll just go get the more expensive ones on Etsy. Okay, and then this goes in there. See if I can get it in there and hope I don't break them in the process. There we go. So that's in. It's in on one side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to put this side of the scales back together first. T6 screws. Start with the back. This just helps it, you know, keep or stay more stable once I put everything back together. Let's see now, this goes in there. So now what's happening now is that this liner here is not in its position because of those springs. There we go. So now I just need to push it in a little bit, and let's see if we can get this in on the first try. It has moved out of its position some more, so I'm just going to try to see if I can suck it in. No. Okay, let's just secure the stop pin in place. T6 screws. Okay, so now what do I need to do? Alright, so once I put the stop pin screw in, like the line is kind of realigned back to its little crevice. So now let's see if this screws in. Oh yeah. Alright, so that's cool on that side. Let's take apart. Let's just pull out the washers. Yeah, come on washers, you can come out now. There we go. I actually need to clean this guy out. It's a little bit gunky right now. Okay, T6 on the other side. and repeat the process. Let's see now. Okay, so on this side I'm going to need to take out the clip as well, which is also T6, to give me access to that screw underneath the clip right there. I do have a video that I talk about my entire disassembly toolkit. If you guys are curious, I have no Amazon links there, but I do talk about like what the tools are that I use that you guys can get. They're not the expensive ones like what Nick Shabazz uses, but it's good enough for me. Been able to manage my very small 7-8 knife collection with all these tools, because I'm a minimalist and that's all I need. 7, 8 or 9 pocket knives. Okay, take this guy out. There we go. And now, yeah, let's take this guy, let's stick it in. In you go. Whoa, whoa, slipped out. Okay, there we go. Everything's in properly. Let's put these back together and start putting the screws back into place. Starting with the scale screws. There we go. Now I'm going to move forward to the stop pin screw, because this should pull the liners back into place, and they are. Moving to this other body screw. Tiny screws. T6 is tiny enough, but they're quite short too. The good news is they don't really go into the body, they go straight into these back spaces there. So they have a little more bite. Come on. There we go. Alright, everything's sucked in. Let's check out the action. Ooh, these are harder. Now, I'm comparing this to the original Benchmade Bugout Omega springs, and these immediately feel harder. Do they feel as hard as... Yeah, they feel just as hard as the Gonzo ones, which to me is a good thing, because the Benchmade ones, the ones that came in the Bugout were like really... were quite a bit softer, which gave it a nice action, but as you can see, it did break over time. So I'm curious to see how well these hold up over time, and best be sure you guys will be among the first to find out. Okay, let's clean everything before we put everything back together. Okay, let's take a little, what do we have here? We have some oil, but before that I just want to clean the inside of this a little bit. I'm just going to stick this microfiber cloth inside of the gap there and just rotate it around. Make sure everything gets cleaned up in the middle. Alright. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's take out this guy. And then let's just clear out the inside and these little edges right here. You can see that? Black gunk everywhere. Nothing wrong with the color black, but if it's black gunk, we don't want that. Nor do we want white gunk. Look at me turning this into a racial debate. Alright, all clean. Now let's try to put everything back together. So what we need to do, we need to put the pivot, yeah, let's keep the pocket clip in. Now from my memory, this guy comes in on this side. Should probably clean this guy as well. Yeah. Now from my memory, this guy comes in on this side. It is D-shaped, so let's figure out where that D is. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lubricate the bottom there. Put that pivot halfway in. A little bit of lubrication this time, and then I'm going to put this guy in on this side. Now, there's a chance that the side that I put it in might not be the side that, like, I might have swapped the sides around. However, if Benchmade did this knife well, it should be the same and symmetrical. Doesn't matter which way I put the washers in. There's a bit of dust on it. Alright, there we go. Okay, so that is in position-ish. I'm just gonna move it around to get it in position, and then yeah, there we go. No, not really. Pins out. Come on, you can do this. I am a human. I will get this right. There we go. Okay, so now the pivot is in, and then the washer is inside of is surrounding that pivot. So now I'm just going to push it out a little bit to create a little gap for the blade to go in. However, I still want the washer to stay in place. So we're talking about a game of millimeters right now. I'm going to pull that back, which is a lot harder now. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to pull this back. There we go. So that went through. So what I need to do now is pull this back a little bit. Okay, let's get some lube on this guy. Alright. Pull that a little bit. Push this out just a tiny bit. How do I push this out without it coming out completely? Okay, let's see now. Is there another way I can put this through? Okay, so now the thing is that I want to push it out, but I don't want to push it out all the way. Just enough for me to get... There we go. So now this guy is going to go in. And I'm just going to use a little piece of paper here. Do I have any? Alright, so now I'm going to use this to try to push it into position, and there we go. I'm now going to pull it in just like that. Give it a little bit of give, position it nicely. Okay, so now everything's lined up, and I should just be able to push it through like that. Yay! And now last piece here. Just gonna put everything back together. T8 screws. Sorry, T10 screws. Let's check out that action. Really tight. Probably need to oil it a bit more. Okay, let's put in the clip. Alright, cool. There we go. Do we have any blade play? No blade play. Okay, so overall, these Omega spring replacements I got off of Shopee, they seem to be working really well. They're definitely a lot stronger than the Benchmade ones that this guy came with. And what that means is that the action is actually a lot snappier now. Camera's not straight. There we go. The action now is a lot snappier now, so you get more of a fling out when you try to push it up. Action is just as smooth as before. No blade play, just like before. Okay guys, that is it. Sorry, camera. There we go. Okay guys, that is it. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay ready.